All right, so hey guys, it's me, 80s from 44. So today, guys, we talking to you guys about the Australia national team. I have a special friend here on my channel. His name is Tao Aarons, and today we'll be discussing about the Australian national team. And yeah, man, I gotta congratulate you. I still can't believe Australia's in the World Cup, man.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I'll be honest. I wasn't expecting it. Like when we didn't make it through the qualifiers, the standard qualifiers, I was a bit concerned that we were going to miss out on a World Cup again. But hey, man, it is what it is. We made it through.
Yeah, man, you gotta give credit to Red Man for those penalty saves.
Yeah, my guy was doing Fortnite dances on the touchline, and he made the save. So shout out, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So yeah, man, because like I said, man, I feel like Australia, you could definitely tell there's some would say you guys were probably fortunate to make the World Cup because of how the quality, and obviously it's incredible. But like I said, man, being a World Cup is special, and there's a lot of big nations that missed out on this edition.
Yeah, a lot of big teams missed out on this World Cup. Like I can look at Italy, for example. I know they just lost to Argentina, but they lost to North Macedonia in the qualifiers, and like that's a big team. Like Italy won the Euros, and Australia is going to the World Cup, and they're not. So I could say we're definitely fortunate. I mean, if you look at the world rankings on FIFA, I think Australia is something like 41 or like 42. So I mean, that means according to FIFA, there's at least 40 other teams better than Australia, but not all of them are at the World Cup. So I'd say we're pretty fortunate. The quality of the Australian national team has definitely declined massively in the last 20 years or so. So yeah, we're pretty fortunate, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Let's talk about the group real quick. So you guys are obviously in Denmark, France, and Tunisia's group, and on paper it's pretty much the same group you guys had in 2018, except with you guys
Yeah,
have Peru instead of Tunisia. That's pretty much the only difference.
yeah, essentially, basically the same.
Yeah, so I mean, what do you expect? I mean, for me personally, it's going to be really a tall task to get to the round of 16.
Yeah, look, it's never easy. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's never easy when you're a small nation at the World Cup, but there have been upsets. There's the winner's curse as well. I'm hoping that plays in our favor, especially against France. That being said, we did play all right against France last time around, so it'll be a tough group. I'll be honest, it'll be a tough group, but I think we have a chance if we can get a result, a win, just a win somewhere, and then a draw somewhere. I think we can make it out of that group.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the matches. You guys have France first, and then Tunisia second, and then Denmark. You guys have to win that Tunisia match. That's a must-win, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Tunisia. I'll be honest. I don't know how well they really performed at AFCON. I don't think they did that well. Um, but I mean, they made it. But at the end of the day, I think that's a team that we should be beating.
Yeah, I'd say Tunisia were largely unconvincing. I mean, in the playoffs, they beat Mali by 1-0, and they had to score own goals, so it was
Right.
really,
Okay.
yeah, and they didn't
Yeah.
make the quarterfinals of AFCON, though, so, there's that. So,
Yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, look. No disrespect to Afcon, but I feel like the quality of the tournament is not as good as it's been in the past as well. It's one of those ones where like even like your teams like Egypt isn't as prolific as they used to be. Ghana isn't really that great nowadays, and Nigeria and Ivory Coast have declined as well. So I'm sure they're a quality team, but Tunisia, I'm not too sure how they'll fare against teams from other conferences or other continents in this case.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to say the least, and likelihood, like I said, it's going to be between you guys and Tunisia and perhaps Denmark for that second place spot, or even France for what that matter, because as you said, the possibility of the winners curse is very much real, and we've seen World Cup favorites. They've even like nations like Italy. They had like I was looking at the group in 2010. They had a very easy group on paper, but they still managed to come last. So you know
Yeah,
anything can happen in this group.
yeah. Even Germany as well. Like, what year was that? I believe it was 2014. Yeah, but I mean, like, look, the World Cup winners' curses is definitely something to behold. I mean, like sometimes it just doesn't make sense how these teams, they go from winning a World Cup to, not even in contention for the next one. So yeah, hoping that plays in our favor. I mean, last time we played France, I think it was 2-1, right? I think it was like
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
penalties and an own goal.
Yeah, it was a very
Like,
strange game.
yeah, it's one of those games. So France are definitely beatable. As if I mean, it's Nations League at the end of the day, but the team just doesn't look the same as it used to be, even with Benzema and Mbappe up front. They don't seem to be clicking right now. So hopefully they continue to have those issues in the World Cup.
Yeah. What about Denmark? Do you think that we haven't spoken about Denmark? What are your thoughts on them?
Denmark is actually a very serious team. I think not a lot of people are actually like people give them credit, but I don't think they're giving them enough credit for what they've been able to achieve lately. They beat France in the Nations League like last week or 2 weeks ago. You know, Denmark is one of those teams where they're just well structured. Even in the Euros and the Nations League, they perform well just because the team as a whole is it's balanced. It's well structured. Guys like Ericsson, yes, they're old now and they have some issues in terms of health wise, but the structure of Denmark is built in a way that they can still perform at a particularly high level as a unit. So they're definitely a serious contender at the World Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah, and honestly, this might seem early to say, but I'm actually tipping Denmark more likely to top the group than France, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, AD. I would not be surprised. I really wouldn't.
Yeah,
I think Denmark is good enough and well structured enough. Like if France goes and plays Denmark and they're not focused and on top of the game, Denmark could easily get a 2-0 win. I could definitely see it.
yeah, and we all know what's gonna happen. So, like I said, man, it's gonna be a tough group. For me personally, for Australia, for me, my expectation would be probably second or third. I'm edging to a more third. I know this might seem harsh to you, but I
Oh, it's
just
it's fair, absolutely fair.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very close. I just feel like for me, I feel as though that France should rebound because let's be real. I think France and Denmark are the best two teams in this group. I think they're the front runners. It's gonna be basically. I think one of them is gonna implode, and if you're gonna implode, you can. One of them is gonna implode for you guys to capitalize. I feel like if Australia's gonna advance, one of Denmark or France, they have to screw up. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Australia needs a win and a draw, and that draw has to come from either Denmark or France.
yeah,
So one of them has to underperform.
4 points is kind of iffy. Like you're not necessarily assured. I think. See, five and above, I think.
Oh,
Is good.
definitely.
Yeah, five is good. Like if you get five, that's brilliant. Four may not always work. You know.
Yeah, obviously you'll have to account for goal difference as well. It's one of those ones where I feel just like if we are good enough to get 4 points, I'm more than happy. Then I'm more than happy to just rely on other teams not performing well. Because like you said, let's be honest, like France and Denmark are the two major teams in this particular group. So for us to even get 4 points, to me, is a massive achievement, especially in that group.
Yeah,
I mean, if we get 4 points and we don't make it, I'm just as happy with that.
yeah, because I remember what was it? Morocco and Iran. Actually, sorry, Iran, not Morocco. They got 4 points in a very difficult group, and it was very impressive for them. The last World
Yeah.
Cup, I believe, was Spain and Portugal, I think. So yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah. I guess this moves on over to the squad. So let's start with the squad. So what formation you think Graham Arnold's going to be putting for this team?
Look, I'll be honest. It's the same formation Australia's used for the most part. It's a 4-1-4-1, basically, or sometimes it kind of converts to a 4-2-3-1. But it's in terms of, I mean, for just the formation, that'll literally be it. I won't be surprised if they run with the 4-2-3-1. But yeah, 4-1-4-1 is the one they're going to go to. As for players. It's really hard to say for Australia just because I think there's been a lot of changes in the team lately, and I think that's kind of contributed to the poor performances, especially in the qualifiers. But as long as we have our main players like Huristich and obviously Matt Ryan in goals and Moy in the middle there, we should be all right. We do have actually a couple of younger players in the A League that could come in and play well for us, but. It's really hard to tell right now. We just don't know what our best team actually is. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, I think for goalkeepers, I think I agree with you, Matthew Ryan. He'll definitely start. And then for what about the other two keepers? Usually three keepers are usually called up. For the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones where like my theory has always been that you start your best keeper.
Yeah.
You always start your best keeper. I don't really like the idea of playing secondary. Like obviously, like as you saw against Peru, if you play what's his name Redmond in goal, like it works. It works sometimes, but at the end of the day, like you can't rely on that. You need to start your main keeper. So obviously, I feel like Redmayne will be at the World Cup if not only just based on that knockout, the penalty shootout. But yeah, Ryan is definitely going to be our starting keeper.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming Redman will probably be the second choice just because of his heroics, I believe.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's be honest. There's no reason for anyone other than Ryan to be in goals. I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it
And
just
the third
isn't.
choice, push comes to shove. I see on here you guys called up Vikovic, Danny Vikovic. I've never heard about this guy before, so he'll probably be third
Yeah,
choice.
I mean, yeah. I mean, these outskirts players. I mean, they do well in the A League, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Now let's get to the defense. Now let's start with the right back position.
Yep. With the right back position, I think what I'd probably do is. Oh, right back. We usually start Atkinson, but I don't know about that today, to be honest. Like, I was just thinking to myself, why not give Sainsbury a chance? I'm not sure. Not a lot of people know too much about Sainsbury, but I think he's a quality right back. Trent Sainsbury. I think he's good enough to play for me at the World Cup. But if they want to run with Atkinson, I'm not complaining either.
Yeah,
Performs just as well.
yeah. Right back. It's gonna be Nathaniel Atkinson and Sainsbury. Yeah, it probably you would probably expect the more experienced player to start just because it's a World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you think he'd be backup choice, right?
Yeah. Look, Sainsbury, he'll definitely ride bench. But if it was me, obviously Atkinson's gonna play.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the center backs, I guess.
Yeah, I think with center backs, I think what we'll probably end up doing, we don't have a lot of high quality center backs with experience, to be honest with you. Obviously we have Bailey, right? But I think it's one of those ones. Like if we start King at center back, and then probably Milos, yeah, King and Milos will probably be the best ones to start for me. We don't have a lot of quality at the back. I mean, they perform well at the A League All Stars game, but uh, yeah, that's probably what I'd go with.
All right. So what's the two? So you think Joel King will start?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's very young. I'll give him that, but I think come the World Cup, he should be prepared enough to play that role. He's all like he's not the biggest defender, but should be all right to play at center back.
Yeah. So who's gonna be his partner?
I because I'll be honest, my thing is that if we wanna match teams like France and Denmark, my biggest concern is matching them on an athleticism level, and I just don't think the older players are going to be good enough to keep up with that.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. Because yeah, France have a lot of young players. There's actually I feel like there's more young players than old players. So maybe you need to have the younger players match out for because the thing with Pacey, the old players, is that while they may be more experienced, obviously don't really have the legs compared to like the younger players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the legs just aren't there. I mean, like it's one of those. It's like you just need to have some level of athleticism in your team. You just have to.
Yeah. So who's gonna be his partner again? In center back.
I had Bailey right, but again, it's another one of those. Like he's young enough to play as a center back, and again, I'm kind of building on the theory of I need legs, just legs. Like he's decently old. I think he's like 28, like 28, like 28, 27. I don't know. Let me double check. Hey, he's 29. Like I would rather him just play, to be honest, because he's young enough. He plays for Sunderland. He gets minutes in the championship, so I think he should get the starting position at the other centre back
Yeah,
position with Joel King.
I'm just looking at alternatives. Let's see. So you guys have Farron. Sorry, he's a right back. Sorry, my bad. Farron Carrick, and then Kai Rolis. He's as another backup player, 23 years old.
Yeah. I mean, like King generally plays like left back, but I've seen him enough times to say he can play center back.
All right. Let's see. And then there's another guy, Gandhi Stennis. He also plays a center back as well. So that'll probably be backup options.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right, let's move to the left back now. Sorry about that.
Left back position. I'll be honest. There's only one player that I can see. Then his name is Aziz. Like this guy Aziz, man. Like I watched him against Peru. He was quality. I think he should be starting. No questions. I think he's probably one of the older players in the team. I think he's like 30 nowadays. He's played a lot of minutes for Australia, so it's only fair he goes into this World Cup as well.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I gotta say, your defense was pretty solid in that game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing is at this World Cup, it's going to be just a lot about just having a solid structure at the back and making sure we can keep up with the other teams defensively.
Yeah. Let's see. What about? Let me see backup left backs. Trying to see is any on here. As you said, Joel King, I guess, could also play there. Um, let's see who else. Oh yeah, there's this guy Trent. Saying, oh yeah, we already mentioned Trent Sansbury.
Yeah, he can play basically on either side, right back or left back.
All right. Yeah, I think we went through all the defenders. Okay, let's go through the midfielders, I guess.
I think our midfield is essentially going to be the same as it was against Peru. I'll be honest. I don't think there needs to be too many changes. Like obviously we're going to have Moy in the middle. Like he'll just play DM. He'll sit in there. I think he's probably our most talented midfielder from a reputation level. I just like again, he's done it for Brighton. He's done it in the Premier League, and I just don't see why he can't start in this team again. He was at the last World Cup, and he'll be at this one as well, in my opinion.
And I think he's the captain as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, obviously very experienced. And then let's move to center mids.
Center mids. Again, based on. We'll do it with the 4-1-4-1. I'll say again that midfield mostly going to be the same. Like we'll have Lecky on the left, Irvin in the middle, Hristich. Actually, no, Hristich. I'll play him out wide on the right. And to be fair, I don't know how popular it would be to put Boyle in the middle instead because he's actually not that quick. Like he plays in the Saudi league and he does all right, but the legs aren't there. I feel like from Peru we just needed a swap between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because Hristich, he liked to drift out wide sometimes, so we might as well just let him start out wide and have Boyle down the middle instead this time around.
I think he scored against Peru. No, sorry, not Peru. UAE, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting there. And then Hristich is a good player. Obviously, he plays for Frankfurt. I remember he was good for their Europa League campaign win. Obviously,
Yeah, definitely. He's very impactful.
Yeah, and then Irvine, do you think will start next to Boyle?
I don't think he will start, but he should start. In my opinion, I know we usually like to run a couple different lineups. Like again, it's been changing a lot. Like even when we lost to, I think it was Japan, we had McAlpha in the middle, and it was just poor. It was just very poor, and even like the 2-2 against Oman, like again, it was one of those games where it's just we tried another player. We tried I think it was like Rogic as the number 10, but even in that game, Irvine played, and it was really poor. Just the structure wasn't there. So yeah, it'll be like one of those ones where we'll just be shifting around a lot just to find the best midfield partnership that works the best for us.
Yeah. So yeah, you would start Irvine, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I think he scored against UAE as well. Yeah, you make an interesting point. Because I feel like you guys don't really know your best 11. You guys have tried so many players out, experimenting the qualifiers, which isn't really ideal to do, And you want to have your best 11,
Yeah, exactly. But chemistry-wise, it's not the best thing to do. Hopefully, we'll figure it out sooner rather than later, so that we can get some actual game time together as a team.
Yeah, and then for the left mid, who do you think is be that left mid?
The left mid.
Yeah.
To be honest, we could either. There's a couple of options. So there's a guy called Mobile. He's 25, 26. He did play for Cadiz. He signed for Cadiz for this upcoming season. He's a quality player, very very good. I think, in my opinion, I think he'll do well for Cadiz going into next season. He does well on both sides as a winger, so I think we should give him a chance at the wing for the World Cup as well. Get some minutes under his belt.
Yeah. Wait, why is he known on it? Wait, did I spell right? I think I did.
Yeah, it's like AWA Mobile, so it's like a MABIL.
This is strange. He's not on here. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I see on the foot mob he's on there. Yeah, he looks pretty talented. 26 years old. He can play left wing and right. He's versatile, it seems. And
Yeah,
a good quality
he's
player.
full on both sides of the pitch, so
Yes.
yeah, he's definitely
Oh
quality.
yeah, he's there. All right, I guess. Okay. And then yeah, let's look at the other players in midfield. So backup players. So obviously we said Moy, Irvan, Dogel. There's a backup player you guys called up for the qualifiers, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Hurstage we already discussed. And then Riley McGree as well. Interesting. He's a young player, 23 years old. And then Dennis Generia plays a League Two. Interesting. He's also
Yeah.
another player. Then Marco Tillo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Tilio is one of the upcoming youngsters in the A League. He plays for Melbourne City, so he's touted to be one of the best players coming out of the A League. Again, it's one of those things like they'll boost whoever's the youngest guy in the league and who's performing semi decently. He's only 20 years old, but I think he actually has a little bit of quality to him, and I think we'll probably see him in Europe at some point in the future.
Yeah. Now time for the striker position.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. That striker position to me is just, it's a joke, man. I'll be honest. Like it's an absolute joke. Like we don't have any. I'm telling you, any top level strikers, in my opinion. We just don't. Like we tried Duke against Peru, but like this guy, man, disaster class. We can even try like Marco Tilio. We can even try him up front, but I don't think he has the minerals to be the main man up front at a World Cup. To be completely honest, he's just too small. I don't think he has the strength to compete against the likes like a Pogba in the midfield, or even compete against like guys like Kimpembe, Marquinhos, like all those kinds of defenders. I don't think he has the physicality to compete there, Bean. But look, he's young, so I'll probably, in fact, run Marco Tilio up front. Yeah, just the striking talent just ain't good.
Yeah, I know how it feels, man. My country, USA, we don't really have any good strikers either. It's been tough, man, and we've been trying so many different players out, and none of them have really worked so far. So I can feel you, man. It's a big issue because when you're looking at goals, primarily a lot of the goals should come from your striker, for teams.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you look at Australia, like man, I'll be honest. I don't even remember the last time our striker scored a goal. I think Australia, we get a lot of our goals from wing play and from the midfield. Like it's a joke. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me see. So you guys have Lecky as an option, I guess. I think we already mentioned him, and then Martin Boyle. He's actually versatile. Wow, he can play so many positions. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a utility man, like kind of like a James Milner, if you were to compare him to anyone.
Yeah, and then
you got just literally chuck him anyway.
Yeah, then Adam Taggart, and then Mitchell Duke. Obviously, you mentioned him, and then Craig Goodwin. I think we already mentioned him. Our Mobile, Jamie McLaren.
And then I mean, Jamie McLaren has been like the main striker for Australia for a little bit of time, but man, like this guy, man, he's so bad. He's so bad. Like I think like I think it was like last year, like early on in the qualifiers, he was banging for us. I think he had like something like 7 goals in like 10 games. But man, like this guy, he's just a ghost in big games, man.
Like what makes you more mad with the striker? Is it for them to like not score, or is it more so like they just can't do anything? Like they just don't create any chances. Like what's been the bigger issue?
Yeah, it's like for me, obviously a striker's first job is to score goals. You need to score the goals. But if you're not gonna, like for me, as a striker, if you're not gonna score goals, you have to do something else. But like again, like Jamie McLaren, man, like this guy, he doesn't do too much. I'll be honest. Like when he's not scoring, he's a liability to the team. He
Oh,
doesn't
I
create
see.
any space. He doesn't really do too much, you know. So
Yeah, and
I just don't rate him, to be honest. I just don't.
yeah, that's the issue because you're number nine. You want you to get the finisher chance, and if you're not gonna at least score, at least like give assists. You know, like there's like some other number nines are like very good in assist. Like look at Firmino, he's not really exactly like a clinical striker, but he's really good as like a false nine. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like you only have to look at the last World Cup. Look at Giroud. I mean, the guy he went the whole World Cup with like 0 goals, I think, and still Deschamps played him every single game because of that impact. He has the stature and physicality to make space for his teammates. So
Yeah,
like again, like it's possible to be a decent striker without scoring goals, but like again, if you're not doing anything, then I just don't feel like you should be playing.
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Australia do because, like I said, man, this is definitely as you said, as we said earlier, this is definitely probably the worst Australia team we've seen in a long time. You
Oh
know,
yeah, definitely, definitely. Like there's been a massive decline year on year. So
yeah. And obviously, when you're going from players like Tim Cahill, it's obviously
yeah,
tough.
yeah. Like honestly, it's so upsetting. Like the decline is just wow. It's
Yeah,
just wow, embarrassing stuff.
yeah. But that's the part of football. Every national team has highs and lows. I know how it feels because I know how it feels for the last World Cup. It was very disastrous for the USA. So it's good to see you guys are at least in the World Cup. And because let's be real,
Yeah,
man, it's
yeah,
better to be in a World
definitely.
Cup than not be in it.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Like, I mean, for USA, like, I think the potential to do well at the World Cup is really high. But USA, I feel like they have like the same problem as England. I think it's a mentality issue because the quality is there. You have a young team, or the
Yeah.
likes of Pulisic. What's his name? Timothy Weah. You guys have a bunch of young players. Is Gio Reyna going to be at the World Cup? I'm not sure.
Uh,
I'd hope so.
I hope so, man.
I think he's injured. Uh,
I think he's gonna make it if fit. I'll say that right now. If he's not fit, obviously, assuming he's fit, he'll probably make the squad.
Yeah, I mean, like, hopefully. Again, it's one of those ones where it's just like you gotta have the quality. I think you have the ability to at least like make it out your group. To be honest, like I look at America's group and it's very survivable for the U.S. national team. So yeah, I mean, good
Yeah,
luck to you guys that day.
yeah. Good luck to you as well. One last thing before we head off. What's your thoughts on Graham Arnold? Do you think he's done a good job with this national team squad?
Good is very subjective. Uh, yeah, good job is very subjective. He's made the World Cup, so yes, good job. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you can only work with the talent you have available to you right now. I think Australia's talent pool is on both ends of the spectrum. You're either really old or too young to even play for the national team.
yeah,
So I think he's done well to get to the World Cup, but at the same time, I feel like it shouldn't have been this difficult in the first place. Okay. Like there's no excuses to be drawing 2-2 to Oman. We didn't lose that game we didn't draw that game because we weren't good enough. Well, we did because we weren't good enough to win. But like we should have won that game. But again, like a tactical failure, it's just a tactical failure. You can only do what your coach puts out on the playing plan. So I think as a head coach, he has to improve. But he has time to improve. He needs to really decide what his 11 is going to be. And then once he's decided that, he also needs to decide what formation he actually wants to play. Because yeah, I don't think he's decided that either. And yeah, just work things out. I think he's kind of one of those guys that like he wants to be pragmatic, but at the same time he wants to implement a philosophy. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He doesn't really have a particular style. But I mean, he's made the World Cup with not so great players, so I'd say he's done a decent job.
yeah. And obviously, you make a good point because as a coach, your goal is to get the best results you can with the available players. And obviously him
Yeah.
qualifying for the World Cup, with Australia, that's already good enough because many other coaches are losing jobs because they didn't qualify for the World Cup. Even if their squad
Yeah,
is good.
exactly.
So
There's a lot of coaches out there, very quality ones who didn't make the World Cup and have lost their job as a result. So, bare minimum, he's achieved that. So I think it's good enough for him, I guess.
yeah, so like I said, man, it's gonna be interesting to see how Australia do, and like I said, man, it's gonna be crazy because I still can't believe you guys are in the World Cup because I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. So
Yeah. Yeah, look, man. If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd have told you no chance. And yep, and here we are.
yeah, man, that's the craziness because that's what I love about football, man. Upsets, man. Upsets, upsets. And I hope you guys can upset France because that'll be awesome. The defending champions go on the
Oh
group
man,
stage.
if we get France and we get a result against France, you'll never hear the end of it. AD, I promise you, bro. You're not hearing the end of it.
Yeah, man, and yeah, it'd be crazy because, like I said, man, if there was an opportunity to do so, it'd be now because they're in a kind of a downhill trajectory. They've been kind of underwhelming recently in the Nations League, and obviously, them as World Cup champions, it would feel even more special to get a victory against them.
Exactly. Look, if we beat France and don't make it out the groups, I don't care. I'm gonna say we beat the champs. We're the lineal champions.
Yeah,
In boxing they say you gotta beat the champion to be the champion.
yeah,
If we beat France, we get knocked out the groups. I'm still claiming that World Cup.
yeah, South Korea did that, I think, in the last World Cup.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is, man. I'm shameless, so I'll do it.
Yeah, and I don't blame you, man, because being the world champions is not a very easy task. It is not a very easy task.
Exactly.
And it's a very rare opportunity to do as well. So as I said, man, congratulations on Australia for making the World Cup, and maybe you guys can defy the odds again and make the round of 16 because I don't think the odds are in your favor, obviously. But that's a beauty
Yeah.
about it because you could tell that this group, like I feel like in this group is you have an idea, the two strong nations, and then you have like the two minnow nations, like kind of battling it out.
Yeah.
So, but who knows, man? In the World Cup, there's always craziness. There's always a shock in the group stage. There usually is at least
Yeah,
one
man.
shock.
I mean,
So,
this is football. It's the sport we love, isn't it?
yeah, man. So as I said, man, let's see what happens with Australia. Good luck to you guys. Hopefully you guys can do something in the World Cup because that'd be awesome. And I believe the last time you guys made the round of 16 was, I think it was 2006 World Cup, right?
I think it was yeah, '06.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So
It's been a while.
yeah, man. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys do because obviously I think you guys, the minimum expectation was to qualify for the World Cup, obviously, and now let's just see what happens, man. Because, when there's not much expectations, there's not really much pressure, because, there's a lot of pressure on France right now, I'm pretty sure. And when there's a lot of pressure, you can fold under pressure.
Yeah, man. If pressure either makes diamonds or it creates stuff into rubble.
Yeah.
And
So,
hopefully France crumbles under it. So
yeah. So,
I'm begging for France's downfall, man. AD, I'll be honest. I'm praying for their downfall.
I mean, you could already say the downfall kind of already began.
Yeah, it started, but I need the downfall to continue at the World Cup. AD,
Yeah. Yeah.
like imagine Australia winning against a team with Mbappe, Benzema, Pogba, Kante. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts before we head off?
Final thoughts. Up the Socceroos. Hopefully, we make it out of the group stage and win the World Cup.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and yeah, because like I said, man, I personally, for me, I want to see like other nations winning. I'm tired of the UEFA nations winning it, and even CONMEBOL as well. Like I want to see like
Yeah,
African
man.
nation,
We need
Asian
we need to
nation,
start these
North American
European
nation.
teams, man. Yeah,
You know?
agreed.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, even like CONMEBOL, yes, I kind of want to see, but at the same time, we've already seen it before, so I just want to see something brand new. But
Yeah,
obviously,
that's always the hope. Something brand new.
yeah, obviously the odds are very difficult for that to happen. But it is what it is. And so yeah, man, that's gonna be pretty much it. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, guys. Comment down below your thoughts in the comment section below. Is there any Australian players we missed? Because there probably is some that we've got to mention. It's just a natural thing, And obviously, this is our best 11 if players are available. That is because we can't predict who's gonna get injured. So yeah, make sure you guys comment down below your thoughts on that. Subscribe if you're new, like this video if you enjoy. Make sure you guys comment down below where you guys think Australia's going to finish in the group stage. We'll finish in the World Cup. For me, it's most likely a group stage exit. I could change my mind though, depending on it. Let's see how.
World Cup winners, AD. World Cup winners. It's coming.
I don't know. Well, as I said, I could change my mind though. These aren't my official predictions, so I'll probably make my official predictions in November because obviously by that time we'll have the official squads. We'll probably see everything, And let's see how France do, man. Let's see. Maybe if France get relegated, I might have to change my mind on this in the Nations League. So, yeah, let's see what happens, man. So that's going to be pretty much it. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.